Hello, I'm Bjorn, movie archaeologist, and welcome back to the Temple of Movie Reviews. Today we are taking a look at a very interesting artifact, and that is, of course, The Flash. I'm the DC guy. I obviously really like DC, and I like superhero shit in general. So I've read a bunch of comic books. I've seen a bunch of shit. I know I'm pretty much up to date on all the superhero crap that gets regurgitated. So I know about all the drama with this movie, and so I went into it with some very interesting expectations. I thought for sure I was going to get something interesting. So the question is, was this good interesting or bad interesting? And I would say it's good interesting. This movie is pretty good. I liked it. There's some stuff in it that doesn't work, and some stuff that really works, and so I'll get into that. I'm going to be keeping this spoiler free until a small section at the end where I'm going to be talking about spoilers. It will be marked. I will play all the sirens, so you don't have to worry about getting spoiled by watching this. So, first things first, Ezra Miller. Yeah, I know about the crimes of Ezra Miller. I was sort of excited for this movie for one very, I guess, macabre reason, and it was mostly because I knew I was going to be able to make a lot of Ezra Miller jokes in this. So, I figure, I'm just going to get him out now. There's a scene in this movie where Ezra Miller sees a bunch of kids. They should have not been there. Dangerous to keep Ezra Miller and your children on set. There's a scene in this movie where Ezra Miller catches some babies. Dangerous. You should have kept those babies far away from Ezra Miller. There's a scene in this movie where they show Ezra Miller's house, and he's got a bunch of odd people all living there in some kind of weird commune. It's funny. I didn't know they were going to film his real life house. Okay, that's it. I'm done. No more Ezra Miller jokes. And on the Ezra Miller front, I hate to say it, he's pretty good in this movie. He has a lot of range. He plays a lot of different angles on the Barry Allen character, and we get a lot of him in this movie. And it works. He's good. I hate to admit that the guy is talented. It's a shame he's a wackadoo. He's got some fun chemistry with the Batman in this movie. I guess the Batman in this movie. And he's got a lot of chemistry with the Supergirl character, who is featured in the trailer, so I can talk about her here. And on that front, Supergirl was kind of the highlight for me in this movie. She actually works really well. I like the actress they've casted. She's fun, and the character gets some really good set pieces, and I think it's a pretty good rendition of the character. I really hope, going forward, that they decide to keep that actress, and I suspect they will. Because as we all know, there's a lot of turmoil at DC, and it's really, who knows who's on the chopping block on that front. And with that being said, I do have some negatives to get into. One, I like Michael Keaton Batman. He's pretty good in this, but I can't help but feel like something was lost from the original Flashpoint with the removal of the Thomas Wayne character. My brother suggested that maybe they should have done Michael Keaton but made him Thomas Wayne, and that way we would have gotten the best of both worlds. There's some stuff I remember from the comic book, and I think maybe it was the animated movie. They all blur together. But where Flash brings home a letter to Batman from his dead father, and that was always one of the more emotional moments of that story for me. And so when they removed, obviously they didn't go that direction. They made him Michael Keaton Bruce Wayne, and so you sort of lose certain elements of that story I really liked. I'm trying to describe this in a non-spoilerly way. I think that maybe that wasn't the right choice, and that maybe they shouldn't have gone with that. But they did, and they were probably doing it to play on nostalgia and the popularity of the multiverse. And on that front, I think this is not as bad as it could have been. I think it works really well. I think Michael Keaton steals the show as far as the action scenes go. His action scenes were really good. And that brings me to one of my negatives. The Flash does not get all that much action in this movie. He doesn't actually do all that much as far as fighting goes. And I think a lot of people will agree with me on that front. But that being said, the Flash works super well as a character in this movie. He's funny, really funny. I wasn't expecting that. I find him very likable. This kind of won me over to this iteration of the Flash, who I wasn't too keen on in his previous appearances. But this, he works. And so that was a nice surprise that there's some good character work in this movie. It was fun to see Zod and some of the other Man of Steel characters return, if sort of near the end of the movie. So I thought that worked. The action sequence that played out there was pretty good, and I liked it. There's about a 10-minute period right at the beginning of the movie that had me real damn concerned with how the rest of this movie was going to pan out. When you see the movie, you'll kind of get it. It just felt kind of clunky to me, and I didn't think it worked. But then there's a turning point where Barry Allen has a conversation with Batflick, and I think that was from that point on, the movie really ramped up, and I thought kind of got pretty good. So, with that being said, I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 to an 8. I'm not quite sure where I land on it yet. There's a few flaws, but I like the movie overall. It's pretty good. So if you haven't seen the movie yet or don't want to be spoiled, you can turn off the video now. Remember to like and subscribe, yada yada. Leave a comment, tell me what you think about the movie if you've seen it. Because I'm going to get into the spoiler section, so make sure you leave now. I'm playing all the sirens. They're blaring super loud. There's a big text bubble above me that says spoiler. Come on, guys. This means you're supposed to turn off the video and go do something else. I don't know. Go watch PewDiePie or something. I don't know. Not me. Actually, who am I kidding? Go watch one of my videos. Alright. You've been warned. So, yeah, the bit I felt like could have been improved on this movie, and I can talk about it now that I'm in the spoiler section, is the evil version of the Flash. I'm not sure what to call him. You see, for me, that should have been the payoff to the emotional core of the movie, and let me explain what I'm saying here. The point of the movie was clearly that grief forges people stronger, suffering makes people stronger. That was sort of the vibe I got in the movie, that like sometimes hardship is necessary to make a man greater, and that's personified through the other version of Barry, who is sort of carefree and aloof and has never really suffered or felt loss in his life. So when he loses Kara and Batman at the end of this movie, he wants desperately to change the past, winds up turning himself into this sort of obsessive bad guy who's trying to change all of time and ripping apart the multiverse to do it. And I feel like there should have been about a 5 to 7 minute sequence, be it a fight scene or a dialogue exchange, where they just hammer home that point more. Because as it is, the guy kind of pops up as like, I am Batman. They say a little bit of words. I get the message that they're trying to get across explained pretty quickly. And then he is immediately erased from existence. And I feel like it's too fast. I feel like you needed to just let that breathe for a bit. And I think if you had maybe had them discuss it, or had, the villain more expressly say that he can't lose somebody. Like, and Barry's like, I've grown up my whole life having lost people. I'm not going to let the whole multiverse get destroyed for the sake of one person I care about, yada yada. I think that could have been really good. And, I think that was sort of a shame they didn't let that breathe. But as it was fine. It was okay. I also could have used for maybe another Flash action scene. There weren't that many in this movie, in my opinion. So, for a movie billed as The Flash, There's the one good one with the Kryptonians, but, I feel like you could have used more. The other two things I have to talk about, holy shit, the giant spider Nicolas Cage sequence might be one of the greatest cameos of all time. If you don't know about the giant spider thing, just look up the Kevin Smith giant spider stand-up routine, and you'll understand what that reference was. That is fucking amazing. I cannot believe they put that in this movie. The fact that they got DC to sign off on including a joke that's just openly mocking their old regime is amazing. That is one of the best cameos I've ever seen, because it is genuinely a deep cut. Like, I know that stand-up routine, I don't know how well known that is, but I've always thought it was really funny. So I loved seeing that in here. Genuinely got a great laugh out of me. And Nicolas Cage cameoing, awesome, dude. I'd actually love it if Nicolas Cage was the fucking Superman. Maybe not, but that was fun. I enjoyed that cameo. That got a big smile out of me. That was one I was not expecting, or at least not like that. I'd heard Nicolas Cage might be in the movie, but I didn't expect it to be fighting the giant spider. That's fucking awesome. I love that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the ending of the movie. I think I've seen the final iteration that they've been keeping under wraps. I don't know how many people have actually seen this version, because they've been keeping so many different versions of it playing, but George Clooney is going to be the new Batman from the looks of it if they keep this. And I'm actually okay with that. George Clooney is a very good actor. He's played Batman previously and got dealt a really raw deal. I think there's going to be a visceral reaction from the community, negative one, because obviously Batman and Robin sucks. It's one of the worst movies ever, and of course George Clooney is in that movie. That being said, I see greatness here. I see what they're thinking with this casting. They want a Batman who's going to be a dad. George Clooney is a great actor. If they go slightly campier than what they have been doing with Batman to differentiate it from the Batman we've been seeing, like the Matt Reeves movies, this could work. Some of the more superpowery villains and some Batman that's like a little more, not goofy necessarily, but a little more lighthearted. I think this could work. We'll have to see where they go with it, but on the whole, I was okay with that. I was hoping for Christian Bale, but we'll take Clooney. That's interesting. That's a risk, and I like when people take a swing, and we'll see if it's a hit or not. Also, they revealed that Jason Momoa is going to be sticking around. Again, I'm okay with that. He was one of the choices as far as like actors I would want to stick around I like the most. I guess Gal Gadot is out, although she appears in this movie. I don't know. This is interesting, though. This has reinvigorated my hopes for the DCEU. That being said, the big one, I cannot believe they're keeping Ezra Miller. What the fuck were they thinking? I've been wanting to talk about this the whole review. Why are they going with the Ezra Miller? I mean, he's good in this movie, but, like, come on, guys. The dude is literally like a supervillain. I think maybe we should go with a recast in the future on that. I'm not sure I like that we're keeping him. It remains to be seen if he'll actually be sticking around, but sure seems like they're going that direction, which is just an odd choice. This was their moment to recast. I'm also going to assume that this means that when we finally see Aquaman 2, Amber Heard is just not going to be in it. They have another perfect get-out-of-jail-free card here for that. Not that I'm really looking forward to Aquaman 2. I suspect that will be bad. But hey, this was a pleasant surprise. So yeah, that's the end of the review. 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I like this movie. It's pretty good. That's really all I have to say about it. See y'all in the next one. Like, subscribe, all that nonsense. I'm out of here. I'm going to go explore the temple.